All right, started the virtual tour on the inside. And we walk into the dining room. After the inspection's done, I can show you some of the things that I found. This entire wall right here has an open ground. Very nicely set up. However, I can't get the ceiling fan to work or turn on. I can't get the one in the living room in there to turn on either. Coming into the kitchen, the light switch is actually tightly behind the refrigerator here. I'll grab the model numbers for all the appliances to check for backlogs or any recalls. Dishwasher I did not test. The reason being is because when I was looking at the plumbing does not look like it's properly set up at all. In fact, I know it's not. That P-trap is not even a legalized P-trap. I wish they would stop selling those. You're missing a cover plate down underneath the sink as well for the outlet. And when there's plumbing there and running water, it should be a GFIC. Furthermore, the dishwasher itself is not secured to the cabinet. So there's a couple of brackets that fit up in here, and they just screw it up on top, and it secures the dishwasher. It's just not installed. Some of the trim work is missing up on the floor here and around. Windows, a lot of the windows throughout the home are hard to open and hard to close. Those can be adjusted and fixed. Your light here turns on from the light itself. The drainage for your washer is set a little high. Looks like you have the 220, and then you have your washer outlet. You got the water supply, and you got your dryer ductwork there. Pantry. Coming in to this window here, I had a difficult time pulling this out to lower this window, but when I came in, this window was cracked open. So, trying to get this window to close, I had a hard time closing it. And the door for the pantry, I should have mentioned too, is that it has a hard time closing. So it's out of frame. It can be easily fixed for a person that knows how to fix door framing. So that is the basement. We'll do that before we go outside. Bathroom, light switch is right here. Typically, I like to see the light switch here as you're walking in. There's no outlets to plug anything in to the bathroom. Plumbing's good, ran this. Didn't run the shower. We have no shower curtain or doors. The toilet is loose, it's significantly loose. But it does have a turn off valve and it does flush. Apparently there's no leaks. Minor trimming down on the floor all the way around. And there's no ventilation in the bathroom either. You can take a nice hot shower. It's vinyl ceiling, I get that, but there's no ventilation. Getting rid of that steam. And the outlet too is upside down. So, well, anyhow. All right, so coming in, I assume this is a bedroom, first floor bedroom. Outlets appear to be okay. A lot of construction dust on a lot of the windows throughout, so I'm assuming that there's little rods inside here that they can adjust for the windows coming in and out. And then locking, a lot of them are hard to lock. Closet door, sliding door. Me as a cosmetic, I would have stopped it right here so the door don't go past. It clearly passes all the way. It's just, but it's not defective. It works just fine. Your closet, and your light switch is behind the door. Again, typically, I would just switch the door from this hinge set to over here. So when you walk in, at least you have the light switch. You know, it should be over here. It's just a pet peeve of mine, what I do. Construction. Windows, this goes to your porch. It's okay. It's not an issue with it. That window over there particularly, I could not get it to lock. It's not adjusted properly. This one locks no problem. We have no open grounds in here. Light in here works great. Light here, I can't get the ceiling fan to turn on. Light works just fine. You got your closet. Closet opens up and closes okay. Alright. So we'll turn off the lights in here. And the lights for the dining room. Alright. Thermostat is in the dining room. It's located right here. You do have central air. We'll talk about that when we go outside and when we get down to the basement. Coming upstairs, it's a little unorthodox upstairs. I was expecting to see bedrooms. It's one big master bedroom. We do have some stains on the carpet from staining. Again, a lot of construction. Appears to be drywall dust throughout. Some of the windows are hard to open and close. The junction lighting, a little bit different, but the problem that I have with this is when we go up and then inspect, we're missing conductor clamps. And there's many names for them, but it's to secure your electrical from inside that junction box. And apparently on all of them they're missing. This one here has one in, but they don't have the screw on the bottom, so it's not secure, it's just hanging in there. You have the closets, outlets right here. Again, it should be right here. Doesn't matter, it still works, it's functional. Outlet here. Again, the switches are upside down. Otherwise it's no for on and off for off. So we got a hole right here. We have, I don't know if you can see it or not, but we have wire nuts connected to several electrical components to, I believe, into the room in here. It should be in the junction box and secured. They have this open for a reason because they probably had an issue with the electrical. Brought it all up to finish it off. What a tight space to work in there when you got to do any electrical. Me personally, what I would do is I would just open this up a little bit more, put a junction box, and just put a little door right here. But even so, with that even being said, you shouldn't have electrical issues. But I'd very big closet. Yeah. You got baseboard heating up here. So even though you have forced air downstairs, you don't have it up here. You got baseboard here. You got one on the other wall over here. And I have no access to your attic. So your gable going up is probably pretty tight up to the rafters, which I assume they are. And your chimney right here. The chimney, the flashing around your chimney up on the roof looks to be, looks like it can be reflashed. It looks like there was some damage to it when they were doing the roof, and they haven't. They didn't really, they used the old flashing. We do have some can vents up on your roof on this side of the gable, and this would be over by your kitchen area. Don't have access to it, it's just there. So I'll come up and grab my ladder later. Alright, whoop, turn these guys off. Alright, so now we'll go down to the basement. So I don't know what kind of loan you got, but there should be some kind of a railing bolsters going down. You get a small child, 2-3 years old, could easily slip, fall, and do a couple flips down to the ground. Should be some on this side too. Tight fit. So this is your old school style sub pump system. They don't do it this way. Basically it's a hole underneath your flooring right here, and it stops, and the rest of this is all solid. This is the hollow part. I wouldn't recommend using this system, just for the fact is that we've been done with this for 50-60 years. Cistern here that's not being used, it's pretty much used for collection of construction debris. These types of walls are like your old flagstone type concrete, and because we have limited ventilation down here, it looks like they did the hardest they could to spray the walls white, but you can see where the wall is actually bleeding a little bit, and it's muggy down here. So I think that what they try to do is hide stuff that's going to be growing. This appears to be fresh paint, and it's starting to bleed through again, and I assume probably within 6 months this is going to start to turn black again. And we could eliminate a lot of that by having ventilation. These windows have a hard time opening. I couldn't get these open to save the house really, but I would recommend getting some new windows in here, allowing ventilation to be down here. We get some ventilation, it'd be great. It'd be a lot better than it is. So I will go ahead and check the serial numbers for the hot water heater. It is properly bonded. I did check your forced air, your condenser and stuff. Appears to be fine. We got good combustibles inside your forced heater. Rigid ductwork, all. You're gonna see these right here, and the same thing on the other side. This is basically your air return coming in. Then you got your ductwork going all the way to throughout the home. You got some posts that don't really meet the criteria of a proper secure post. I would recommend replacing these as well. We have limited outlets down here in the basement. This one here was taken out, this was put in, we got good. Here's some leftover plastic for spraying in here. Again, you can see where it's starting to bleed out. I assumed at one time we had black up in here, which would flag for mildew and possibly mold. Looks like they did the best they can to clean it up, and they went ahead and spray painted it. But you can see where it's starting to pop through. So if you didn't clean it good enough, it will come through. You can't paint over mildew. Use some Kills or something and scrub it. Water main right here. You got your electrical panel here. You got your bonding. So even though your AC unit out in the backyard, it calls for a 30, it calls for a 40. You have your AC on 11 and 13. Here's your 11, 13. It's on a hole breaker of 220s. So we're good. I did take this off. You do have some loose conductors inside here. they should be secured inside. You got 2 hanging ones on the bottom. Checking out this right here is nothing but communication for TV, internet, phone, whatnot. Everything else looks pretty healthy. Your filter for your furnace is pretty dirty. I would recommend cleaning this out. I'll show you real quick. So, yeah, she's pretty dirty. So you have your condensation line coming from your AC coming through, bleeding in through your forced air, kind of going uphill, the draining here that drains to nothing. So I assume the design for this when they installed it is it'll just drain here and it'll just evaporate. Turn these lights off. There you go. Alright. Tight fit. Okay, this goes to your backyard. I'll take off my booties. I'll come back in. When I came here originally, they had the AC running with the AC hood cover all the way around and secured. I immediately took this off and this AC unit was extremely hot. To prevent damage to the AC unit, I just uncovered it and I put the bungee cords to it. I did check the unit inside and out. The conductors inside, the capacitors, and whatnot look very healthy. I did a pressure check on it as well, as long as I was here, because I was concerned about the AC unit being as hot as it was with that cover on. I didn't want any damage, but if there was any damage, I have pictures to show, but then I went ahead and checked it, and the AC unit's pretty good. I'll take off these booties. So you have your sub pump down the basement. You can see that one time I think they were trying to use it. I'm not a big fan of that type of system that they have in here, but that's what they did in many years ago. So we're looking at your back porch area. Well, I'll just get to it. So you got your 4x4 post. It's not secured to the concrete itself. The concrete's slanted, but even the other side's not. You got ledger screws on the bottom that are secured, but then they put these types of screws into the framing of the house, which is not a preferred way of securing your ledger board, but it's okay because they have these, but then these are unsecured. You got 3 stringers, 1, 2, and 3, and they're spaced really far. This side's not so bad. I like to put my stringers at least 24 on center, but me, when I build, I put everything on 16 on center. I like mine strong, and the reason being, I'll just go on the shorter one. These boards are bending when I'm going up here. I don't know if you can see this or not. Well, that's bending, and then if I go on where it's wider spaced, like these are, yeah. And then you got, they ran out of these guys right here, these balusters, right? And so what they did is they decided to trim them off. Instead of put them in their socket, they off-centered it. Again, a carpenter wouldn't have done that. These are cheap. Just go down there and grab another one and put it in right. And now we got to take out these 3 to put them in right. I don't feel safe on this this setup right here. Now to put in 2 more stringers is really easy. You're just gonna have to crawl under there, put them in there, put 2 screws on each board and secure it to this guy right here, which is your 2x6. Yeah, I just, anyhow, I'm gonna quit picking on it. So this is the old, like, old stone that they used for your foundation. It's common. This home was built in the 1890s. And you're gonna see where the mortar joints, like I could literally pull this out. I would suggest going ahead around the entire exterior and resurfacing it. So you might have some issues with pests entering into your home, and believe it or not, they can crawl up this wall like it's nothing. But when you look in here with all this foam, there's usually an indication that they have air leaks coming into the house. So what I typically like to do is grab some steel wool with some cinnamon, stick it in there, get some great stuff just to tack it in, but I don't grate stuff at all, and then I liquid nail it so it'll be hard as nail. But this right here goes straight up. Once pests like mice or whatever get inside here past that sill, in between your studs, they have pretty much access to your entire home. We have some wood rot onto your porch. I didn't go inside or underneath it because I can see what I need to see right here. You do have active pests that are digging underneath, and the hole is going into your home here. It's common. I mean, even brand new homes has rodent issues. We do have some overhanging trees over the roof. You know, and you see where they had that sawed off a couple of times because it probably fell on the roof. I would just trim this up a little bit. And the trees that are on your property are also leaning over their roof and their garage. So it's an insurance liability. Beautiful shade though, and they're healthy, and they don't appear to be diseased. Good gutters all the way around. You got to close the soffit so we have no ventilation going up to your attic, but we already talked about that because we've been upstairs. There is no attic. Windows appear to be newer, except for a few, but the basement windows, I would look at replacing that so we can get some air down that basement. Your ground wire is in through your driveway here. We have no garage. This is your service drop here. Your drainage does come out and come into your driveway. In about a year or two, this is going to be a nice big hole. You got the old wood siding. Beautiful home. It's just every home's going to have its cosmetics. You know, so I even go on brand new home constructions, and you know, especially if it's built on a co-op through high school kids, there's all kinds of things that I see that just needs to be fixed. I mean, it's not like, you know, it's detrimental to the health of the home itself. It's just a lot of this is cosmetics, and taking ownership of a home that has these types of issues inside and out is a home that's typical. This is actually a great shape for a home in 1890. Great shape, considering all the things that they've already done to it so far. So this. I'll get my ladder. So this is kind of a wrap up of the inspection of the things that I'd show you. So is everything in the house perfect? No, I have never been in one house, including my own, and I do this stuff all the time. Even my home is not perfect. I know of it. it's not a deal breaker in my opinion of a home. Even my own home, if I had a home inspector inspect my home, he'd be like scratching his head. But you know, but that's what we do. We look. Oh yeah, one other thing too is that typically your gas needs to be off. We don't live in Wisconsin. We get snow here, not as much as we have, but that should be at least 4 inches higher from the ground itself. And there's a reason for it. So when snow builds up and we get like a blizzard that we get at least once or twice a year, it'll be up above your gas meter. And then during the day it looks like snow, but it's melting underneath the snow, like a greenhouse, and it'll start filling up with water and ice when it freezes at night. And then one day when you have no gas, because this is frozen up. So I don't think it's your utilities that installed it wrong. I think when they put this mulch in, they just raised it up. So my suggestion is to dig out from here and remove some of this, so this has some room for water drainage and whatnot. But there are other suggestions you can do to secure the outside as well from pests and everything. I really don't think you have to use a pest control company. I mean, I would if you don't want to do it, to do an exclusive service, you know, a couple $1,000s. And a lot of this stuff a homeowner can do themselves. They're just not taught how to do it. You know, you got entry points here, there, underneath several of the windows on this side and the other side. Looks like mice can get in easily. You got this right here, complete access inside, underneath and in. That's complete access inside. So I gave you one recipe on how to secure your home with cinnamon with steel wool. Just use great stuff, just to tack it in there. Then use liquid nail that hardens, like that adhesive stuff, and secure it. And then just remortar the outside and clean it up, prime it, and sealant paint. Don't get the paint from the hardware store, just my opinion. Everything I get at a hardware store, unless it's Ace or Sherwin-Williams, stay away from Lowe's, Home Depot. That's my personal opinion. I just seen people use it in 2-3 years, it flakes off. And it could be that people aren't applying it right, so, and that's usually what it is too. And that's all I got. Thank you.